What is going on, everybody? This is your man, Big B, Brian Hanley, and welcome to Steelers Almighty, the pre-game edition. We are going live today just to kind of get our feet wet on this preseason game that's coming up tomorrow between the Steelers and the Bills. Got a lot that we're going to cover today, a lot that we need to go over, a lot that we probably need to see out of the Pittsburgh Steelers going into this second preseason game. You know, the first game that we saw, I don't know if it was exactly the way we wanted it to go with the first unit, but a lot of guys didn't play. So we've gotten word that a lot more Steelers are going to play in preseason game number 2. For how much, we don't know, but at least they'll be out there. We'll be able to get something done, get something accomplished, get some good work in. Mike Tomlin, as he always says, he takes in-game or in-stadium stuff work a lot more serious than he does practice work. So if that's the case, we're about to get some in-stadium stuff, in-stadium work. So can't wait to see it. Let's kind of get into this. First, before we do any of that, remember Steelers Almighty is the fastest growing Steelers channel on YouTube right now. It's all because of you guys. We appreciate it. Remember, Super chats are always wide open, man, and it gets you not only to help control the conversation to what you want to talk about, but it also gets you put up on the screen your question, comment, or your rant, whatever it is, and you get put right to the front of the line. You can always like, follow, subscribe, and definitely comment if that's the way that you want to help, support the channel. So we appreciate that. Let's get into this, man. So the first things first is how much are the starters going to play in the game? That would be the first thing. I think the high-end starters, the TJ Watts of the world, I don't know if Cam Hayward will play, but I think the TJ Watts of the world, the Mika Fitzpatricks of the world, if they play at all, it might be a series. Maybe 2, but I'm guessing probably just a series. Got to keep those guys fresh. Got to keep those guys healthy. You want them to get a little bit of work, but not a ton. Those guys are pros, high-level pros at that. I don't think they need a ton of work in the preseason to get ready to play. Other guys that you might see, Russell Wilson, you could probably throw in there as well. Although, being the quarterback, I would guess he probably gets at least 2 series. Tomlin said that the starters are going to get 3 or 4 series. Okay. Russell Wilson hasn't played any preseason games. Does he need to? I think probably some. I don't necessarily think they need to play next week, but get out there a little bit this week and get something done, get something accomplished, probably 2 series, and then Justin Fields takes over. So, but other starters, Broderick Jones, we got to see a lot more from him. We'll get into that in a second. Nate Frazier or Zach Frazier, excuse me. He's going to take over at center. I think he's going to play. I don't know if he'll play a half, but I think he'll play a lot in this game. Or could the Steelers look at it another way? Herbig is hurt. So if Nate Herbig is hurt, maybe it's, we don't want to put him out there enough because this is our center. He's going to play some just because he's a rookie. And again, they haven't said how bad Herbig is hurt. So who knows? Who knows? But I think the starters got to get out there a little bit. George Pickens, get used to Russell Wilson, into some live game action. Speaking of that, there's breakdown of film of George Pickens. Now, look, we're not going to crush him too much in a preseason game, but we saw George Pickens. There's several videos out there anywhere online that you can find where Pickens was basically dogging it last week on routes that weren't coming to him, or even routes that may have come to him. He was dogging it a little bit last week. Can't happen this week. He's not going to be out there long. Go full speed. Get your reps in, get your work done, and then get out of the game. But can't half-ass it. Just can't have it. Again, quarterbacks trying to get fits with you in game situations. You can only get game situations don't happen that often in practice. If it ever, it's still just practice. And although these are technically practice games, at least you have in stadium more of a practice or a game feel to it. So got to see more from him. But yeah, I don't know how much the starters are going to play. Don't know. Especially like a Patrick Queen, E-Rob, and how long do you want to put those guys out there and put them in harm's way when they don't have to be? I suspect maybe a series or two from those guys as well. So we'll see. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see what happens there, but we got to get some good work in. So next thing is, what do you want to see from Russell Wilson? My thing is, I think for Russell Wilson, I think we need to see, number one, get the damn snaps. I know that seems, kind of trivial, elementary, whatever adjective you want to use, but we saw it last week. Fields couldn't get 2 damn snaps. Get the snap. Okay. That's number one. Number two, get back, get your drop, and get the ball out of your hand. Don't be holding on to the football, trying to get guys open and stuff. Drop back, get your read, throw the ball. That's what I'm waiting for. That's what I'm looking for. So, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I want to see what we've heard reports that, his rapport with Pickens isn't as good as the rapport with Fields. Well, it needs to get there. It needs to get there, and this goes a long way. Get the rapport with Jefferson, Austin, Pat Freiermuth. I think we got to see a little bit more of him, and definitely Darnell Washington. Definitely. We saw a ton of play action last week. I want to see more of that. We know Russell Wilson is a play action guy, so I definitely want to see more play action. Again, it's not stuff that we're throwing out there for other teams to scout us on. People that scout Arthur Smith already know that he runs a ton of play action. So having play action pass in the preseason isn't giving anything away. The teams don't already know that he does. Okay. So I know what some people are going to do. Oh, we don't need to play action. We don't need to bootleg. We don't need to do this. We don't want to get. Hey, man, they're going to go back 6-7 years on Arthur Smith and look what he does. You think one preseason game, us running play action, teams aren't going to know what he likes to do on offense? Of course they are. Of course they are. So let's not let that, get in the way. Let's not let any of that get in the way. That's what I want to see first, though. Definitely want to see Russell Wilson, see what he can do, get him out there, get him in space, maybe a little bit on some bootlegs, get the ball out of his hands. Don't hold on to it. Just get some work done. Get some good work done with the first unit. Want to see Justin Fields get more work done with the first unit. I want to see that. Haven't been able to, or with it seemed like the progress that he made last week in the game, because he looked good when he got the snaps, looked good. But he can't drop 2 snaps, man. Not just 1, 2. Can't do it. Just cannot do it. Terrible. Elementary. Again, 5th graders can get a quarterback center exchange right. They don't have 2 fumbled quarterback center exchanges in a game. You did it in back-to-back drives. Come on, people. What are we doing? So, do want to see Justin Fields play a little bit better. Apparently, the competition is still open. If it's really still open, then go fight for the job, Justin Fields. Go try to win it. I don't know that it's still open, so, but we'll see. We'll see. You guys leave any comments. Who do you guys want to see is the better question. What are you wanting to see from the first team offense? Leave your answers and stuff in the comments. And again, you all know that I love going back and forth with you in the comments. So leave that. What do you want to see? The next thing that I want to see, I kind of touched on this earlier. Yeah, I got to see Broderick Jones. Yeah. I got to see Broderick Jones. Look, the guy played into the 3rd quarter of preseason game number 1. There's a reason for that. We can make all the excuses, and I've seen a ton of excuses in the comment section, man. We got to stop making excuses. He played into the 3rd quarter of preseason game number 1. There's a reason that he did that. And it wasn't because people were hurt. It wasn't that. Come on, man. He's got to be better. And not to mention, he played last week. He played bad. He played bad. He played bad at right tackle. He played bad at left tackle. Let's see. Now the report is not the report. He played in the joint practice with the Bills. He looked good. Held his own, was really physical at the point of attack, got up the field on guys, got to the second level, looked good. We got to see it again. And it's like last week, I mentioned it in our post-game live, which again, 15 minutes after the game, we'll be going post-game live again tomorrow, is he just didn't look interested. Broderick Jones just didn't look interested. I think that maybe that's what it was and had to do with his play last week because it was lackluster against the Texans. It just was. And maybe it was just like he just didn't want to be out there. Well, he needs to want to be out there against the Bills this week because you're trying to get ready for the season. It's time to always want to be out there. Okay. I understand it's preseason. Nobody likes it, but you got to do it. It's a necessity. Got to get out there and play some football. You just got to do that. So knowing that he has to do that, I expect a good game out of Broderick Jones. I really, really do. Dan Moore Jr. is going to be on the left side. I think the whole starting line is going to be there minus Fatanu. Now, if Troy Fautanu is going to be the guy, we'll see. We're going to see how all that plays out here in the next couple of weeks. When he comes back, reports are that it was his job. He'd already won the right guard or right tackle job. Well, if he has, then it's just a matter of time till he gets back. I find it hard to believe, though, that he's already won the job and then he got hurt and they're just going to hand him the job when he comes back. I find that real hard to believe. I do. I find that real hard to believe. But you all know me. You know that I prefer that he had already won the job. You know that I prefer that Fautanu is the guy at right tackle and Jones is the guy at left. But we'll see. We'll see. Isaac's probably going to get a series or two. He's another one that's not going to play long. James Daniels, he'll probably be out there for 2 or 3 series as well. We'll see. I want to see some good offensive line work. And again, continue to work the tight ends a little bit more. Get a wide receiver too. Van Jefferson looked good. Calvin Austin looked okay. Scotty Miller. We'll see. We'll see. You know, Quez Watkins got a little bit of an opportunity, but I think he's passed up on the depth chart by Dez Fitzpatrick. I think if the season started today, Dez Fitzpatrick would be wide receiver 5 ahead of Quez Watkins. And again, I know that means Roman Wilson's not out there. The Steelers are probably going to keep they got to keep 5 wide receivers. I don't know about 6. That's getting in the weeds a little bit on a receiver. That most of the time that guy's not going to play. I don't think you keep 6 on game day. I don't even know if you keep 6 on your roster. You probably have a guy on the practice squad, at least one guy. So we'll see how that goes. But right now, Dez Fitzpatrick looked pretty good last week too. So keep that name in mind. If Roman Wilson is not ready to play, I think Dez Fitzpatrick could actually help the Steelers if given an opportunity. We'll see. We will definitely see. But I want to see more Freiermuth. I want to see Darnell Washington is who I really want to see. That's who I really, unless the Steelers are literally keeping everything under the gun that they're going to try to use him for, then I want to see more of him. And again, teams know that Arthur Smith uses not one tight end, but 2. He does. He throws the football to both tight ends. So if he's going to do that, throw him a bone. Throw him a bone in the game tomorrow, man. Let Big Darnell cook a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Big guy, can block, can run routes. I think he's going to be a big part of – I shouldn't say a big part of the offense. He'll be a part of the offense. And last year, he was not. He was strictly used in run game and strictly used in, okay, bootleg, we're going to throw it to you, get us 2 yards. That's all that he was used for last year. And I know his knee was bulky. Hopefully it's better and that he can do more this season because I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. On the defensive side of the ball, you know, well, let's start with offense. Let's stick with offense real quick. I think the offense has got to establish the run. Last week with the first unit, didn't necessarily establish the run too well. It was okay. Wasn't terrible. I'd like to see more, though. I'd like to see more. Again, I know it's tough because you're running basic stuff, no motion. You know, we're not disguising stuff with personnel groups. We're not doing any of that, which is okay. You don't need to do any of that in a preseason game. But I think we're going to see a little bit more of that. We're not going to see a ton, but a little bit more of that this week. I think Jack Coletto, I like him. I think somebody put that in the chat. They want to see some Jack Coletto. Yeah, I like Coletto. Get him out there. Throw him a bone too. You know, throw him a little bone. There ain't nothing wrong with running a little inside trap on short yardage. There ain't nothing wrong with that, you know. But yeah, that's who I want to see. Let the Steelers establish the run a little bit more with that first unit. Get out there and play some physical football. On the defensive side of the ball, again, I know you can say this for every single game, stop the run. Okay. But we want to see some guys make some splash plays. Look, we saw Peyton Wilson last week. Look good. Look good. Want to see it again. Got to stack the games up. Consistency. Want to see it again. Like I mentioned, TJ Watt, not going to play a lot. Alex Highsmith, probably not going to play at all. Still on that groin injury. He may be out there a little bit, but I would doubt that first of all, I doubt that he's out there, but if he is, I don't think he'll be for very long. I think he'll be out there for a couple of, maybe a series. Maybe a series. That's all I give Alex Highsmith, man. I don't give him a ton of time. But want to see another pass rush. Look, DeMarvin Leal was getting after it last week. I've written this guy off, but I want to see him get back into the fight. Isaiah Loudermilk. I want to see him get back into the fight. Last week, he did not look good. Somebody in the comments that will remain nameless tried to tell me, number one, I didn't know what I was watching. I was like, Isaiah Loudermilk was getting blown off the football. And I mean, it just happened. That's real life. That's a fact. And it doesn't matter what kind of camp he had. We got into a game and he looked terrible. Get back into the fight, Loudermilk. You got a chance here, man. They do. They let Fehoko, they had to let him go. He's on the IR. They let him go. Okay, well, here's your shot. Here's your shot. I still don't think he's going to beat out Dean Lowry, but that doesn't mean he can't stick around. We still need depth. Show that you can be a good depth piece, man. Because I think Logan Lee is set for the practice squad. I don't think he's making the Steelers 53-man roster. So here's an opportunity. So, and yes, Loudermilk was non-existent from our man. Yes, he was absolutely non-existent. Just nowhere to be found. So, yeah, he got to splash. Flash. Do something. Got to do something. So I want to see him get back into the fight. And again, we came out with our training camp up to this point depth chart, and we left him off of it because of what we saw. He was terrible. That's just a fact. He was bad. So get back in the fight. Want to see more DeMarvin Leal. Again, has looked great in everything that we have done in the offseason. OTAs, mini camp, training camp, preseason game has looked great. He just has. Light's coming on for that young man. I'm excited to see it. The light has come on for that young man. So I want to see more. Martravius Adams, just a consummate pro. Good backup. Keanu Benton got poked in the eye last week. I'd like to see him get out there and be a little bit more disruptive. He didn't play long, like I said. And he was a little disruptive in the little time that he was out there. Again, I don't know that he's a guy. It looks like we've got one in Keanu Benton, people. I think Keanu Benton knows how to be a pro. Last year, he was coming in, didn't know. But anytime a guy comes in a second year, has lost weight, and basically says he's going to put weight on during the season, yeah, that's a guy that, hey, man, I got to be in my best shape to get through camp, and I'll put some weight on during the season. That's a guy that gets it. That is a guy that gets it. And he's going to be a disruptor. He looks every bit the monster. Mike Thomas said, he's a dude. We need dudes. Well, damn it, I think Keanu Benton is a dude. Good for him, man. Playing really, really good football. Really good football all off season. He gets it. Don't think we'll see Cam Hayward at all. I mean, 35 years old, 13th year, or actually 14th year. I don't think he needs preseason games to be ready. I just don't. And there's no reason to put him out there to get hurt. I don't think there is. So I think Cam Hayward gets the day off. We'll go from there. Beanie Bishop, on the other hand, look, it looks like he had the job. He looked like he had it. And then Braylon Arnold looked like that he started pushing and actually was getting more reps with the first team at slot corner than Beanie Bishop. Then Graylin Arnold goes down, out for the season, calf injury that stinks. So this is Beanie Bishop's job. Now, look, Beanie made a couple tackles the other day in the game, but they were off of pass catches. We need to see him pop a little bit. Okay, we're all excited about him, and we want him to do well, just like we want everybody to do well. Okay, you've done well. It's time to see it in the game. What you've done in practice is great. It's got to translate. It's got to translate. If it doesn't translate over, then what good is it? What good is it? Yeah, Joseph, you stole my thunder, man. You said it before I could. Corey Trice is going to be something nice. First of all, I like how you did that. That's number one. But Corey Trice looking real good, man. He's going to get an out because I don't think Dante Jackson is going to play. Still nursing the injury. And Corey Trice has been thrown into that starting role and has looked good. Yeah, he's looked good, people. He's looked good. If he's healthy, the Steelers got a steal last year with him. And again, that's the only reason he went in the 7th round last year. Health concerns. And I know he turned around and got hurt in his first training camp with the Steelers. I get it. But if healthy, he's again, a dude. He's a good corner. Big, athletic, quick twitch, long arms. Yeah. Player. He's a football player. He is a football player. I like it. So we'll see. My man Davis McMillan says, better be ready for all. A win will be great start. A loss will just be the opposite. Davis, that could be the most obvious statement that anybody has ever made. I appreciate it, my man. We got to be ready for week 1. And obviously we got to win. We want to win. So, and if we lose, okay, it'll be just the opposite of a win. Totally get it, my man. Thank you. We appreciate you. So, yeah, I want to see Beanie Bishop flash a little bit more. Corey Trice, my man Ryan Watts. Y'all been on my head about Ryan Watts. He's starting to get it done, people. He's starting to get it done. If you guys have been paying attention, my man Ryan Watts said, I'm not going to be on the practice squad. I'm going to be on the 53 man. I like Ryan Watts. He's out there doing it. I want to see more. Tomorrow. It's going to be interesting. So going back to the Russ and Fields, saga, or if that's what we want to call it, I just think that Justin Fields got to take a step forward. I think he got derailed last week with those drop snaps. I want to see more. And if he gets plenty of snaps with the ones, go out there, man, and go do it again. Because, again, he looked fine except for the fumbled snaps. Continue to get better. But, Russ, you better be on your A game, man. That's all I'm going to say. Russell Wilson better be on his A game tomorrow. Yeah, he better be on his A game tomorrow. I don't want to see, because here's the thing, and you all tell me if I'm wrong. If Russell Wilson in his first action goes out there and looks bad tomorrow and Fields looks good, do you guys want to see Fields take over the number 1 pole position, as Mike Tomlin calls it, the pole position? Y'all want to see that? Russell Wilson goes out and has a bad game, bad preseason game, and Fields plays good. Do you want to see a switch? Should there be a switch? Is it just, hey, man, it was preseason, let's leave it where it is? So, I don't know. My man, Steelers Nation from Australia, my man, we're going to have a podcast together soon, man. I'm going to have you on the show. As soon as we can link up the times and make it work, absolutely. He says no, it's Wilson. I don't know. I just think we haven't seen a ton of Wilson yet. So because we haven't seen a ton of him yet, if he plays bad, That has to mean something. It has to mean something, doesn't it? So we'll see. We'll see. I preferably I'd like to see both of them play well. That's what I would prefer. But just throwing out a hypothetical. See what you guys thought on the hypothetical. So, mm, mm, mm. But we'll see. We will see. Peyton Wilson, still high on him. Yeah, you all got on my head about Peyton Wilson being the starter. Doesn't look like he's going to win that job. Look like E-Rob's got it locked down. It just looks like E-Rob has got that job locked down. But we'll see. We'll see. I think I tried to create that position battle, and it wasn't really a position battle at this point. It really wasn't. I will say this, and I'll continue to say it. Peyton Wilson's upside is light years, and I mean light years ahead of where E-Rob's is. And it's not that E-Rob's a bad player. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying Peyton Wilson, his upside is just a ton better. Athletic, way more athletic. He can tackle. He can cover. Can get sideline to sideline. He's not just a downhill thumper. So I just like his upside, man. So, but he looks good. He looks good. The thing that got Peyton Wilson last week, he had a couple missed tackles, just being over anxious. Just it's not that the guy can't tackle, because clearly he can. Just over anxious. Just overrunning plays because I'm so fast. I read it and I just overran it. That happens your first NFL game. It happens. So not worried about him at all. Actually excited about what I saw. Want to see Joey Porter play a little bit better. I know he wasn't out there much, but you can't have a pass interference penalty like that. And that was a bad one. I mean, he was complaining. I'm like, my man, you held him the entire route. I mean, you can't do that. Get your hands off the guy. At some point, you got to get your hands off the guy. So, and maybe again, preseason is what it is. I don't like the fact that Joey Porter had already got a list out there, but okay, that's fine. As long as you back it up, you can say whatever the hell you want, in my opinion. I'm not a guy that, just play the game. No, man, you want to get out there and talk a little trash, talk shit to somebody, good for you. I'm with it. However, you got to back it up. Can't be out there talking trash and then going and getting cooked. That ain't going to work. That don't work for Steelers Almighty, man. It's just not going to work. So, as a reminder, man, you guys make sure that you get this number. It is 412-444-8390. Again, 412-444-8390. That is the Steelers Almighty hotline for you guys to call in. Leave a message, and we will sort through them and put you on our Wednesday Steelers Almighty podcast. Again, just need your name, need your YouTube number, and where you're calling from. That's all that we need. So make sure that you put that out there. Y'all might as well throw your email in there too. You can throw that in there as well. But your name, email, your YouTube username, and where you're calling from, and then leave your rant, leave your statement, leave your question. And we'll, like I said, we can't put all of them up, but the best ones we will put on the show, listen to it, and we will respond. So we absolutely appreciate that, man. So, and if that was the Powerball number, let me in. Mega Millions, big money tonight. Big money. So I'm probably not going to play, but it's still big money. Still big money. But yeah, make sure, again, as always, man, like, follow, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff on Steelers Almighty. We appreciate you. Anything else you guys out there? I'm looking at the chat. Anything else that you guys want to see from preseason that we haven't already covered? We covered Wilson and Fields, Broderick Jones, established the run game with the first unit on offense. Defense, play with a little bit more physicality early. Is there anything else that you guys want to see tomorrow against the Bills? So, anything else? We got our man here, Ron Smith. He says, you okay with double dippers? I'm a number one, a Packers fan. Steelers are close second. Aloha from Hawaii. you know what, Mr. Smith? Anybody that joins and wants to be a part of Steelers Almighty, you can absolutely be a part of it, man. So we would prefer if you switch that Steelers and Packers around, that fandom around, but we're a close second. We'll take it. You're a close second. If we can be a close second, we will absolutely take it. You got to subscribe, though. Make sure you go subscribe. So if you haven't already. But we're going to shut this one down today, people. I appreciate everybody being in here. Thank you guys again. As always, Steelers Almighty, fastest growing channel on YouTube today. Or fastest growing Steelers channel, I should say, on YouTube. Remember to like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tomorrow, after the game, tomorrow night, we will be live. Again, doing exactly what we're doing right here, breaking down what we saw. So make sure that if you watch the game, jump online, come join us again. We will be live tomorrow after the game, 15 minutes. We'll be doing that all season, by the way. We'll be doing it all season long. So 15 minutes after every game, we'll be live, jumping on here, talking about what we saw, what we liked, didn't like, all that good stuff, man. So I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. And again, make sure you like, follow, subscribe, but leave those comments, man, especially because I love going back and forth with you. Until then, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Let's go, Steelers. Let's go. Aloha.